gut feelings and intuition are the biggest secret keeping you from your dream life. Welcome back, my billion-dollar baby. I'm Tara Electra, and we are going to dive into what intuition really means. And it really just is another form of your gut feeling. But how do we strengthen it? Why is it important? What does it truly even mean? I think that there's so much power around this because, intuition is really your guidance. It's like your map. You get to open this map to life and you get to see where you're going and how you get there by your intuition. It's like your intuition is going to look at that map and be like, oh, right here. And when we start to use our intuition, it really aligns you with the power of the universe, with your inner self, your higher self. It's your inner self and your higher self. And our higher self, when you really look into it, really knows everything that you need to know. You really aren't as lost or unfulfilled as you need to be, because when you start to use your intuition, it's going to lead you to so much more. So let me get into some things about intuition. Some reasons why it's important to be connected to your intuition is when you're not, this can show up in your life by leading you down a path that's unfulfilling, putting you in a relationship you hate or a job you don't want to be in, or leading you just down depression in general because you're like, what's the world? What's the purpose? Like these feelings, because you aren't connected to your inner self and your intuition and your gut feelings that have been knocking on the door trying to get your attention to be like, hey, over here, it's this way. Like this is your purpose. There's so many amazing ways to really understand, like, what is the intuition or that gut feeling? And trust me, like, I'm even someone that still works on the gut feeling and the intuition. And there's so many times that I feel it and I'm like, no, I just have this intuition that is it. And I say it to like my friends and stuff and they're like, her with her intuition. And I'm like, I'm usually right though. And they're like, you are. But then there's times where I'm like, shoot, this is like a big decision and I can't feel anything and I want to feel it more. And so the way to begin in baby steps is there's ways that you can start to ground yourself to really know when your gut feeling, which is just your intuition, is showing up. One of the major ways is putting yourself into a place where you start to connect with your inner world. We don't do that enough. We don't sit with ourselves enough. We don't go into quiet places. We don't walk into nature. We don't spend time alone. We don't journal enough. I mean, maybe some of you do, and then your intuition's great. But a lot of us don't take the time to do those things that connect you with that voice that really is the part of you that is going to lead you to the path of most fulfillment. And so when you take the time to put little you as the most special person in your life and the most important person in your life, and you cater to you and you self-love you, and you take the time to be like, what are you feeling? Let me journal today because what am I feeling right now? Why is this coming up? What is going on in my thoughts? Or even just a normal day of like, here's what I've been thinking today, and just let your pen flow and just start wherever you want to start and just go with the flow. You'll be surprised at when you just kind of allow yourself with no judgment to speak to yourself, whether it's journaling, meditating, going on a walk, you're going to slowly start connecting with what are the chatter thoughts that are going on. Because like we get back into society and we're trying to work and we're trying to go to the next thing. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. And we're having all these intuitions and gut feelings that we're not feeling because they're so suppressed because of living life that when you don't take the time to be with you, it's really going to be hard for you to hear it. Some ways you can strengthen it is start by making small decisions based on your intuition and observing the outcomes. The more you practice trusting your intuitions, the stronger your intuition will become. Even if the results aren't always what you expected, the act of listening to your intuition will build your confidence. Something as simple as like, let's go to dinner tonight. Oh, we should go. Your friend says, we should go to this place. And you're like, no, I have a feeling we should go here because I just have a feeling that that isn't going to work. Like there's going to be a line or there's going to be this. Like I just have this feeling. I've heard of this spot and I think it's going to be really good. And maybe that was just your small step of like, you had an intuition we should go here, or you had an intuition you shouldn't go to that party tonight, or you have this intuition that this person isn't right for you. It could be little things, it could be big things, but like you had this intuition, or you had this intuition you couldn't trust this person. You had this intuition you shouldn't say that thing to them. Like there's these little feelings, whether they're intuition or gut, that are constantly leading you as your guidance system to like what is aligned with you and what is of your highest purpose, and how do you get yourself to your highest purpose where you're the most fulfilled. And it's so cool when you start to use your intuition, because it's like a magical power on the universe that's going to take you to where you want to go. So it's so important to care about it and care about yourself enough to take the time to connect with that part of you. Another thing is tapping into your gut feelings and intuition is crucial for unlocking your dream life, because these internal signals are often aligned with your deepest desires and your deepest values. Here's why it's important. So intuition guides you towards your authentic choices. You want to be making decisions in your life based off your authentic choices, what you truly want, not because other people say that you should, or you think that you want to make your parents proud or your boyfriend or girlfriend proud. You want to be making decisions from your authentic, true self. It's the only way you're going to lead to a place where you're fulfilled in your life and you're proud of your life. So that's a big one. Gut feelings tap into the subconscious wisdom. So like they say, when you read about this and you start to do your own research, that we are so wise, that we actually do know the answers to our soul's purpose, that our higher self really does know. And so when you tap into your gut, your subconscious wisdom is going to come through. So like when you start to feel that, the wisdom is going to start to shine through your life, and you're going to be like, oh, I do know this, or I am working with the universe, or I do trust myself. And like, even if you don't believe in the woo-woo stuff, and that might be woo-woo to you, but it's not to me, the universal stuff. But like, even if you don't believe in that, it's like the most basic level is just trusting in yourself, like your own guidance system. And like, I'm sure we can all say that we all have our own internal guidance system that's leading us in our life. And we know when it's an authentic choice or when it's a choice of making others proud. And the more that you listen to you and you do these things, that you work on your inner work, or you go on walks, or you start to journal, you start to be in peace with yourself and take time to put yourself first, the stronger that voice becomes. Intuition helps you avoid pitfalls. I kind of explained that. The more that you choose based off your own inner guidance, the more fulfillment you will get. And the more that you choose just because you're just trying to make a decision or please others and it's not your true nature, that can lead you down the wrong path and can lead people to feel like they're not happy with their lives and so forth. It helps you create alignment with your purpose, big one. Boost your self-confidence and self-trust. I personally love this one because boosting your self-confidence but also your self-trust is literally, to me, the key to this world. The more that you can come from this strong, grounded place where you're like, no, I trust me. Like, it's so powerful for people around you when they're like, she or he knows what he's doing. He knows where he's going in this world. It's such a refreshing feeling. And honestly, I've been drawn to people in my life that are like that because that was something I had to work on. And so when I see someone that just has this trust in themselves, that knows they're going to be good and knows they're going to figure it out and all these things because they have this connection with their inner self, it's so powerful. And you start to build that self-trust by listening to your intuition and seeing the outcomes, and then seeing, how did that turn out, and slowly building blocks of doing it more and more and more. It's the key to flow and creativity. I agree with this one too, because when you're following your intuition, like for an example, I've been writing the story, and it's like a thing that I'm doing as a hobby for me because I love to write, and I'm just following my intuition of where the story should go. I'm not forcing it to be a certain way. And I'm just going with areas that I feel like I intuitively should discuss. And a lot of times, actually, I do that with my podcast. Like, I'll write down things on a subject, but I intuitively allow myself to be guided to where I feel is the most important areas to touch on within the subject. And so there's so many ways to do this in a creative or an artistic expression. Is when you follow this intuition, it's guiding you to be your most authentic and creative self, which is so cool. I think it's so awesome. There's something I wrote, and this is what inspired me to actually make this episode on intuition, is because I wrote this so long ago. I need to find the date, but it was probably, I wrote this 8 or 9 years ago. And I just wanted you to hear this, because I feel like I wrote this to myself and I was like, this is powerful, and I wanted to share it. And I saw it in my notes and I'm like, I'm reading this, and it inspired me for this episode. So what intuition is to me: focus on your dream, your goal. Every day know you already have it. You do. That thought, that idea, that inspiration was given to you for a reason, not to suffer over not having it, but to attain it in this life. If your dreams are too big for small-minded people, surround yourself with the ones who chase the same dreams. Treat every day like a game. Ask before sleep, ask before bed to get the answers of the next step you need to take in order to move towards your goal. Wake up looking for clues that are being sent to you, and never doubt that anything you're noticing is just a coincidence. All you have to do is believe and listen to your instincts to find the next step. Your instinct is that little voice that tells you to do something before your ego and mind comes in giving you reasons not to. Remember that your true self is behind your ego. The more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes, and the more life will feel effortless and become exactly how you always wanted it to be. We always had the answers. We just allowed our mind to take over and forgot how to trust ourselves. Isn't that so cool? There's so many parts to this that I want to dissect in case you guys didn't fully digest it. Focus on your dream and goal. Every day, know you already have it. And you do. That thought, that idea, and that inspiration was given to you for a reason. So your intuition could be this feeling that I should do that. I should start a podcast. I should write that book. I should go to that meetup today. I should do something, talk to that person. Like that thought, that dream, it could be, I should start that career. I should take that course. Like that know every day, like focus on your goal and your dream and know every day you have it. Trusting yourself that the idea came to you for a reason, and know every day you already have it, because you do. Because that thought and that idea was given to you for a reason. So you already have it because it already came to you. Not to just suffer over not having it, but to attain it in this life. That's your soul's purpose. It's crying out for you to attain it. If your dreams are too big for small-minded people, surround yourself with ones who chase the same dreams. So start to be around those people that look at you and are inspired by you and want to rise you up and want to be like, let's do it. I'm doing this, you're doing that, let's go. I can't wait. Like if your dreams are too big for those small-minded people, start to look around, because you're focused on knowing you got that idea, you already have it. So next step is, who's surrounding me? Treat every day like a game. Ask before sleep to get the answers of the next step you need to take in order to move towards your goals. So that's a big one. Treat every day like a game. So fun. Why not? You're playing with life. We all are playing this game of life. We get to choose to take it very seriously and boring, or we get to have fun with it and follow our intuition. So some ways that you can do that is you can go to sleep. Before bed, you can ask your higher self, what is the next step I need to take to meet that person? Because that person is going to help me get this. I've written down how to get my goal, and I need this step. Show me how to get that. Okay, I'm passing that to the universe. Wake up, looking for the clues that are being sent to you, and never doubt that anything you're noticing is just a coincidence. One of the big ones I've told with my girl that's my producer on my podcast, we've talked about it. I said that I needed someone to help with my podcast, and I was like, how the heck am I going to find a podcast producer? Like, I don't know any podcast producers. And then one day, just my intuition told me to ask this girl walking on the same level as me in an office building. I'm like, what is that office? I've wondered about it for over a year, never thought to ask. I've seen it and I'm like, oh yeah, what is that office space? She's like, oh, I work with, X, Y, and Z on their podcast. I am a producer. And I'm like, that's so wild. I've been needing a podcast producer. So that's an example of it. I've asked for it and then I followed my intuition in life. All you have to do is believe and listen to your instincts to find the next step. So all you need to do is trust the universe that you're going to find the next step. Your instinct is that little voice that tells you to do something before your ego and mind comes in, giving you the reasons not to. Remember that your true self is behind your ego. The more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes, and the more life will feel effortless and become exactly how you always wanted it. We always had the answers. We just allowed our mind to take over and forgot to trust ourselves. Isn't that so powerful? I reread this and I wrote this when I was like 7 something years ago, maybe 8. And I'm like, this is so powerful. I have to make an episode on this, because when you really break it down and dissect it, you know what intuition is. You know before I told you what intuition is. If you really think about it, you already know. It's the voice before your ego and mind comes in and tries to give you reasons not to do that. I should call that person. No, they're probably busy. I should take that course. No, who do you think you are? You think you're going to be able to be an actress or singer or play music? Like, it's the feeling and the intuition is the thought you had before your ego and mind came in to tell you reasons not to do it. You always have had the answers. It's so cool because we do. We want to say that we don't know. We're so lost in our lives, but no, you've always had the answers. So we just allowed our mind to take over and forgot to trust ourselves. And isn't that sad? If we all just took time to trust us, we have the answers to our life. We know where to go. We know how to live our purpose. We know how to be fulfilled. We know how to have that life we pictured. If we just took time to put us first and trusted us and gave ourselves that 30 minutes every day to journal and say, what are you feeling? What are you feeling today? How can I help you? What is coming up for you? How do I listen to you more? And when you do that, these little things are building these building blocks and allowing you to trust yourself and giving you the tools that you need to fulfill and live your highest purpose, which, why are we here on this earth if that's not our goal? That's the way I think. We all came down to fulfill our dreams. We've all come down here to live out those desires. I don't want to live a life where I have these dreams and I don't get to achieve them. Do you? And so we have the tools to get there, and it's so exciting. And I'm so excited for you to start using your intuition. And as you guys know, I read all the comments and I would love to get in discussions with you, and I reply to the comments. So if you want to get into discussions about intuition, let's dive deep on it. I'll go in with you. And as you know, I release new episodes every Tuesday. Please subscribe to the podcast. It means the world to me. I show up every week to not only give back to you, but I love sharing the things that I learn, and it's so fulfilling for me. So I just welcome you to this place to connect with me. I will love to connect with you, and I'll see you next week.